Hi everyone, this is Vicki Verley, the Rock and Roll Prophetess, coming at you today to take a look at the new moon eclipse chart on May 9th, 2013, 8:28 p.m. Eastern Time, in Taurus, 19 degrees of Taurus, 1931 Taurus. As you may or may not know, I am an intuitive astrologer, and there will be an intuitive factor in this reading, and it will not be strictly by the book. Alright, as always, when I open up the chart, I just look at the wheel and I see what pops out at me. And these aspects here, I did include, normally I don't include aspects to the node, but I just did because I could see that they were so involved. I mean, they're in there now. I mean, we're in there for a conjunction on this this new moon. And that's, that makes it an eclipse as well. So the nodes are so involved, and I wanted to see the aspects to the node, so I added these extra aspects, and just look at this. And what it reminds me of initially, these all these oppositions, and look how it's fanned out. It reminds me of, initially it reminded me of like a stringed instrument, like, bluegrass players. Not your ordinary stringed instrument, obviously, but there's some unusual, like these Luthers in the South there's all sorts of these instruments that are smaller and maybe more on the line of mandolins, and they're strung up like in these crazy things like this. And that's what it reminds me of, first off. And then secondly, I see it like the oppositions are little beads of water on spider webs. And spider webs and plucked stringed instruments are kind of similar because, a spider can feel the vibration of something on its web. That's how they sense that they've got prey on their web, by the vibration of the spider webs. And the stringed instrument also vibrates. So there's something about vibrations and delicate balance. I feel like this is delicate and fine. Like these water droplets can be felt on this spider web. And even if you look at it sideways, these are like the legs of the spider, and this is like all its spider eyes. This really has a really strong spider vibe coming off of it. And I'm not even sure what it all means, but it's just a psychic impression, so I'm going to let it rip here. Well, we've got everything, this Taurus. Let's start with all the Taurus stuff. So Taurus, it's all about it's money, it's possessions, it's, and Mars and Taurus, we discussed it a little bit in the last reading, because Mars and Taurus can be kind of volatile, and that when you get something about that Aries and Taurus energy combined, and that's those people that were born on April 20th. I know Hitler's one of them. With this Taurus Aries cusp, sometimes it can be really volatile. It's too, if you look at it from a representative, the visual representations, the rulers, we've got a bull and a ram, and a bull and a ram are going to lock horns with each other. So sometimes that can be volatile, but with the new moon especially, what I wanted to get to is, and this is looking like a little spade to me, besides the sex and all the other stuff, physical activity, plant your garden. Get out in that dirt. Take this spade and go out and dig in that dirt. That is a great way to discharge the energy. That's a great way too, because the earth has positive ions and everything, and there's all sorts of studies on that. You can look into it, and even how people who have arthritis don't get arthritis who are gardeners, because they feel like their hands are connected into the earth's energy field and it's healing somehow, well, it is healing. And the new moon is a great time to, plant gardens, do planting in the spring. With Taurus, it'll give you strong, robust, sturdy plants. Planting a tree under Taurus would be a very good thing to do. But just get out and dig in the dirt a little, That's a great way for this Mars and Taurus. Discharge that energy, break up some soil, break up some dirt. And these are all conjunct here with the South Node and Mercury and everything. This Mars conjunct the South Node. South Node is always going to be your past, people from your past lives, past, friends, or foes, with Mars. South Node could be somebody that you had a beef with. Mars could be somebody that you had a beef with. And, an old foe or an old adversary or something. Or, it could be Mars too. It could be an old sexual partner, but it would have been just probably more strongly sex than any emotional connection. But also maybe if you did play sports, somebody that you played on a sports team with, or the opposing team, or something like that, or somebody you used to go to games with. That was the thing that you hung out and did. But there may have been somewhat of a competition, or somewhat of a I'm feeling like adversary competition from the past coming back, or maybe an old annoying circumstance. Hopefully not. But so the South Node with that, and then the North Node with Saturn. I want to talk a lot about Saturn, because I'm going to get into the Pluto-Uranus square later, because I haven't really talked about it. And it's coming in for exact, and I do want to talk a little bit about it. I want to look at the overall flavor of the chart too, though. Here we've got Scorpio ascendant. So we've been in this Scorpio Taurus stuff here, and it's continuing on with the new moon here. But now we've even got Scorpio on the ascendant. But again, all the Scorpio placements are in the 12th house. So they're not fully expressed. They're not coming to fruition. Also the past, where the South Node is drawing me in the past. So there's ties to the past. There's a very strong pull, very strong tie to the past. The other thing that I wanted to talk about too is that we do have the intercepted houses again here. We've got Aquarius and Leo, so unexpressed. And then we've got Juno there. I'm actually not a great authority on Juno. I think of Juno as, kind of Libra-ish, kind of an old paradigm, female entity icon. I mean, I'm really not that knowledgeable about it. And it's being aspected by all this stuff here. So maybe anybody out there has some comments or some ideas about this. But then when there's the missing house, there's always the double house. So we've got the 2 Pisces house and the 2 Virgo houses. Okay, so nothing going on in the Virgo, but look at the Pisces house. Yes, there's stuff going on, and it's part of this. Uranus is in there. So this energy is, I believe, overemphasized, because we've got the two houses in Pisces and 2 in Virgo, and there's planetary placements here. Even though Uranus is in Aries, it is in this 5th house. But I want to go over to talking Pisces, and Neptune and Chiron are down here. And something about this is drawing me in, and I hope it's not true, but I feel like it could be floods. Because the 4th house is like where you live, your residence, things like that. So maybe if you live in an area where it's prone to that, you might want to do a little prep work, or have things ready, or get important papers up from the basement or off the ground or something, or put up, make sure you have supplies or sandbags or whatever you might need. And Chiron is there, and Chiron, healing, I've had a rough time with Chiron too. People don't like Saturn and Pluto, but Chiron is, I've had a rough time with some Chiron transits. Maybe because I'm not getting the lesson, I don't know. But somebody said something to me once. They said, Chiron is where you keep wounding yourself over and over again. And I think that's been my experience with Chiron. So keep wounding yourself over and over again, and you tie in the Neptune here. And the 4th house, besides being like your home and your residence, these are your home of origin, your family, your base. So this is, your background and your family. So where you keep wounding yourself. Neptune, where you're not seeing it clearly. You're just not seeing it clearly with these people. And maybe cut them a break. Cut these people a break. Realize that they were just doing the best they could. Your people that raised you, or whatever. Or even, with Neptune, maybe you came from alcoholics, or maybe you came from, drug abusers, or had a parent who was mentally ill, or something, or somebody in your family. Maybe you've got things you want to deal with because you're just not seeing it clearly. And so I feel like this is important too, and this is, how we can finally clear it up. And I just feel like cut them some slack. That's what I feel like. They're doing the best you could. Stop looking at it from your childhood perspective. Try to look at it from your adult perspective, at what went on in your, in your raising, or try to look at, all this Saturn in the 12th too. This is your past. Saturn's your paternal line and everything. So it's like, let's look at this past stuff. Let's try to heal it. Try to have some understanding. I think that's the biggest thing here. Because where nobody sees it clearly. Because you're too emotionally involved, you can't see it clearly. Try to step back. Try to step out of the situation and take a look. take a look at it from a different perspective. So everything's in the seventh house too. I know we didn't even get to the actual eclipse point here over here. It's all in the seventh house. Venus is there, Pallas is there. All this stuff. It's Mercury's in there, close enough. It's in the sixth, but it's 2 degrees out. Not even. So we got to work on partnerships. We got to get rid of all this 12th house Saturn. Even though the nodes are flipped, it's still. South node would be more to my point, but it's relevant here. And part of fortune, maybe we'll find some treasures. But we got to work on our partnerships. We got to work it out. We got to see people for who they really are and accept it and heal it, or heal these situations. Don't let these keep holding you back down here. Let's get up to the higher realms up here. So I did say I want to talk about the Pluto-Uranus square, because I haven't really talked about it, and it's been, it's a long-term thing. It's a long-term transit. It's been going on for a while, and it's going on. And I think we're kind of acclimating to it. I think the very first punch is always sometimes the first punch and the last punch are the ones that you really feel the most, maybe. The last hurrah, the last exact aspect before it goes out, which I'm not sure when that's going to be, but I know this is not it. At any rate, so Pluto, and Uranus. Uranus, we want to break free, and everybody, it's violence, it's crazy, it's all this. It could be, and in this chart too, I wanted to just go look real quickly. Look, it's in second and fifth house. So second house again is money, and Capricorn is definitely money too. So, and it's retrograde, so there's rumblings going on. But I think the big picture on this Pluto-Uranus is just old paradigm and new ideas. And the old structures are going, they're all falling here. And, Saturn's involved too. We've got Saturn over here in a sextile to Pluto, just about. Sextile. So Saturn and Pluto, and Saturn's involved because Pluto's in Capricorn, which is the ruler, Saturn rules Capricorn. So Saturn and Pluto are both ass kickers. Let's just be blunt about it. They both will kick your ass. And with both of them, you can always say, listen, you can do it the easy way or you can do it the hard way. But change is going to come. Change is definitely going to come. And I've been through some Pluto stuff, man. I hit my moon, my sun, my ascendant, when it came through Scorpio, and it hit me a lot, and I had major stuff. Pluto will take you out or take you down, take you to your knees. It'll bring it to your knees, okay? But it's got to happen. Change is going to come. And a note about Saturn. Saturn, somebody told me something years ago, and it's a great thing. Saturn rules the bones in your body. And you need the bones in your body, or you'd be a big pile of lump of, flesh on the ground. Saturn rules, it gives you a foundation. And if Saturn is heavy energy. It's like a big brick, big giant brick slab of, bricks or something. And it comes by, and if something's not working, if it's weak in your life, something is not on solid ground, it'll just crush it. It'll disintegrate it. It'll crush it to the ground. But it's not going to leave you there in the dust. During Saturn, you can build a new foundation. And those foundations will last the Saturn cycle, which the full Saturn cycle is, 28 years or so, 28. That's why you have your Saturn return at 27, 28 years old. But there's also shorter. There's like those 7-8 year Saturn cycles, those quarter turns. I've seen that definitely happen. And as I'm saying that, this is a psychic thing. Remember, the 7 is standing out on there. So Spirit's saying it's 7 years. These are 7-year cycles we're setting up here. They're showing me that. Okay, so, long-term change. And, Uranus, Uranus is war and rebellion and all this, the freedom fighters and everything crazy. But listen, Uranus is the internet. That is what this is, and that is how all this freedom and all this change is coming about. People in these worlds that, third world places that could never, they're seeing how the other half lives, they're seeing how people live, and it's all through social media and the internet, and and change is happening. I'm getting chills all over my legs. So Spirit is talking here, and it's like, yes, this is a good thing. We need to tear down these old paradigms. This has to happen. This is the Capricorn thing, the age-old thing. The other thing, it reminds me of how I've seen it affect in things that I'm interested in fifth house stuff, creativity. Years ago, you had to get a record deal. You had to get a record deal, and so much talent, I think, just went unheard of. Now, the old paradigm where these record companies are ruling everything and controlling all the money here. People are saying, no, I'm releasing my own stuff, and download me on iTunes and YouTube, this medium that I'm on now, but like Justin Bieber and different people that have, YouTube. It's just like we can put it out there ourselves, or maybe other people who use YouTube for other things. We don't have to get this job or need somebody older paradigm's approval. We can just put it out there ourselves. Writers, you don't have to get a publishing deal. You can self-publish. There's many Cinderella stories of people who through self-publishing have become huge hits, and they're having their books made into movies and TV series, and they're doing great, and they were turned down by the old paradigm. Didn't want them. They said, no, we don't want you. This is our little clothed boys club, Saturn. This is the boys clubs, the old men boys club over here. That's definitely Saturn. And, Aries, Aries is like, wow. And when with the fired up with this Uranus behind it, it's like, wow, we're just out there. And Uranus is brilliance. Uranus is the higher mind. There's so much positive thing about Uranus. And the internet is definitely ruled by Uranus and all this technology. This is Uranus energy influx, incarnate. There it is. It's manifesting through the internet. It's bringing everybody together again. And so this is a good thing. Change, one thing for certain is change. The only thing that is certain in life is change, and we need change. We can't, the old stodgy, old man, stuff's got to go here. It's everybody, Uranus is everybody here. It's the Aquarius, the humanitarian, for everyone, for all. Okay, so I want to just real quick, this spider thing. I know it's crazy, but this spider thing is just really standing out to me. I want to maybe think a little more on that before we end this. Spider. I know that it's akin to the Wheel of Fortune. The spider web is the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot. Fate, destiny, things looking up, things looking brighter or better. When the wheel is up, but the spider's kind of sideways. So if I wonder if that means it's not quite up or down, it's kind of sideways. No, but I just feel delicate balance, and I hear this thing, and I hear it. It's like it's walking around. It's got sound. It's sound. There's definitely sound. It's related to sound. Well, vibrations. I guess vibration. Sound is vibration, and that's the spider web, and that's the stringed instrument. And I just feel like it's this delicate balance. And overall, I mean, the Pluto-Uranus was the big picture. Overall, the scope for this is partnerships, working it out, healing these old wounds from the past. And these old wounds from the past with the 12th and the Neptune down here in Chiron and everything, that could be stuff Neptune, you could be projecting this stuff from something else completely. Maybe your father was whatever, and so now you're projecting that on your current partner, because it's really your unhealed issues over here, Chiron. It's your stuff, and you're like, oh, and you're projecting this. So you got to go back. Maybe you got to go back further. The nodes, we got to go back further. And Scorpio's involved. We got to dig in there and get in there deep and see what's really happening here, and go forward. But overall, good. Look at this nice lineup with Venus is here in the 7th. Jovial. Venus and Jupiter together are going to be coming in together. Jupiter's out of the shadow too, so this stuff is going to start flying in Jupiter. But right now we're still 12th house. We're still finishing up this little bit of Scorpio Taurus energy. Work it out now, because we don't want to wait 7 years. We don't want to carry this. We don't want to carry this burden around with us for another 7 years, right? Let's get rid of it now. Pluto, eliminate, release, get rid of it. Uranus, Aries, let's move forward into our new existence, into the new way. Keep moving forward. Okay. So that's my little take on the new moon eclipse for May 9th, 2013. Thank you all so much for your generous donations and your ordering of soul readings. I really love doing the soul readings. A little side note, I said last time about my friend getting sick, and I did end up getting sick on the eclipse, so the universe came up and bit me in the butt on that one. Instant karma, baby. So you got to watch. These eclipses are powerful. Watch what you say, because watch where you point that thing, because it is powerful. Okay, until next time, remember your love and beauty incarnate. Hello everyone, Vicki Verley here, rock and roll prophetess. I want to tell you a little bit about how I combine creativity and spirituality through creating the Tapestry of Life mandalas. I started out being able to see past lives really early on as a child, and my own as well as other people's. By the 1990s, I was receiving past life information through astrology charts, and not just doing the astrology work. This was intuitive. This is a psychic thing. It's as if I use it as a scrying wheel, and I get information by looking at your chart and looking at your wheel. This is what I now call doing a soul reading. By the late 1990s, I started seeing colors and visions, the colors and designs coming through in the charts as well. And this is when the Tapestry of Light mandalas were born. Creating the mandalas is quite a process. It can take up to 5 or 6 hours to complete. And what you end up with is a one-of-a-kind piece of art just like you. People get a lot out of these mandalas. You can look at them and start seeing things on your own. It's a great scrying tool. It's a great object of art for sacred space. Along with the mandala comes a soul reading, which I do from your chart. I also offer just the soul reading, and what we're going to be offering also is a computer-generated past life reading based on Edgar Cayce, which is quite insightful, but I let you know that it is computer-generated based on the Edgar Cayce readings, and I do not personally do those. So go to the site www.tapestryoflifemandalas.com to learn more. And remember, you are love and beauty incarnate.